as we talk about the MSMEs, we already recognize that digitalization is very important for them. I mean, that's a given for all of us. But what I want to talk about here right now is coming from an entrepreneurial standpoint. There are many pain points that the MSMEs encounter. They comprise 99% of our economy. So in this pandemic, I'm sure you encountered many pain points of our MSMEs. I would like to know how each of your companies address these pain points for the MSMEs during the pandemic and leading now into our new normal. Let's start off with Mr. Vea. Sir, what has Maya done to, I guess, evolve the business for our MSMEs?
Were we addressing, of course, transferring money, sending money from one to another, paying for your orders?
I guess to sum it up, we were there when the world closed down on everyone, whether it's consumers or MSMEs. So apart from what Doy has said about payments and all, we were there to help MSMEs make the sale. So pambayad, pagtanggap ng bayad, pag-advertise, because MSMEs can also advertise inside our app. And this is what digitalization actually does to you. You're not anymore confined to just the four walls of your branch. You can even have a presence inside in the digital world.
For us naman on the transportation side, it's really all about inclusive mobility. And now that we're out of the pandemic, a lot of people don't realize that there are still so many Filipinos that don't have access to transportation outside of the metros, right? Have no access to transportation. When you go out of Metro Manila, the ratio between cars to motorcycles is 18:1. For every one car, there are 18 motorcycles. And there are a lot of places down in the mountainous regions na talagang hindi na dadaanan ng kotse. So these are some of the pain points that even post-pandemic, many Filipinos has been experiencing, was worse in the pandemic, and is still experiencing right now. And that's why we're working very, very closely with the government to make sure that we pass the necessary legislation and also the necessary regulations to be able to really empower. There are 18 million motorcycle owners in the entire country.
So our job and our main advocacy is making it easy for people to do business nationwide. And I feel that's really powerful because what we saw is that a lot of people that had to reinvent themselves during the pandemic found a cheaper way of doing business because digital businesses are way cheaper, frictionless, both in the fact that you don't even need to talk to a human. Our usual measure of success is the number of clicks.
I think when the pandemic started, as the other panelists have mentioned earlier, it was quite consistent. Everyone had to shift to digital, because we had no choice. We were all locked in our homes. Much of our offices were closed. For those in logistics, warehousing, our guys that would drive our trucks couldn't even get out, right? So it was more of a call for companies like Lalamove to be able to deliver for everyone during that period. We were one of the few companies that was able to cross borders, get out of Manila, come back to Manila, get out of Cebu City, etc., etc. And this really enabled a lot of businesses to continue operating. 2020, the theme was survival. 2021, the theme was thriving. In 2022, we can't just talk about surviving and growing a little. We need to really scale up. Especially now, I actually like the term that you mentioned, the new normal, because last year we said new normal na.
We need to educate people more about how to use the platform more effectively. So we partnered with DTI and a few other NGOs for training for MSMEs. So that ran for a few weeks, but we did have a huge reflection during this period in that our MSMEs are not ready or prepared for disasters or crisis. That was our huge reflection. And so we paused and sat down with our partners. At that time, Bayan Academy was with us, and we designed a program designed for MSMEs specifically to help them survive, not just financially, but also to cope with the pandemic. So we created self-mastery programs, mental wellness, also access to capital, financial literacy, which actually targeted them not as persons or households, but as MSMEs, and also business planning. So we ran this program for a few months and then developed it further into a mentoring program. So that's continuing to this day. And we're very happy actually that it matches the 3M framework where, market, money, and I can't remember the other one, mentoring. So we continue that program to this day, and we really want to create that environment where your MSMEs, our MSMEs are prepared whatever happens, and that they're ready and they are informed of what to do and who to call in that instance.